All right, so we're back with the 54 Ford, and what are we up to today? Well, we've got the drive shaft out of it. We have a driveline vibration, so we're going to try to figure out exactly what's going on. So about a week ago, I decided I was going to pull this drive shaft out of this car and carry it to my local driveline repair shop. Make drive shafts, build rear ends, anything to do with your driveline, they service it. Jackson Powertrain in Richland, Mississippi. So I had replaced this U-joint last year before cruising the coast, before I went down. And when I put the car on the road, I noticed it still kind of somewhat had a vibration. So I was like, you know, it is what it is. We went to cruising the coast, drove all over, and didn't have any real problem. But this year, I decided that I was going to try to isolate down and figure out what the problem was. So I pulled the drive shaft out and carried it down there to Jackson Powertrain. I didn't even really look at this U-joint that I had put in. One of the things that I had noticed was the U-joint had slack right here in this yoke. So the U-joint would move back and forth slightly. So I'm thinking that it might gonna be in need of a new yoke. So instead of me trying to figure it out, I'm gonna pay some professionals to look at it. This is what they do all day, every day. So I carried it to him and let him look at it. And he said, yeah, that was kind of a problem, but he didn't really figure that that was my vibration. But what he showed me, and he said he had noticed, he started checking this U-joint, and he said, well, it felt crunchy to him. So these U-joints, move in here close, have got a welded strap right here that holds these cups on so that you cannot take this U-joint, will just fall apart. So he took and cut that loose and pulled the U-joint apart because he wanted to inspect it, because like he said, there are places in it he would feel that felt crunchy. So when he got it apart, there were some needle bearings that were going away. Now mind you, this U-joint might have 500 or 600 miles on it, maybe. And I hate to call them out because they usually can get parts or have parts for anything I ever need, and it's O'Reilly's. This is what they had. It was a precision U-joint, and well, of course you know where it's made. It's made in China, sadly. And I don't know if it's that I have a driveline angle problem that could possibly be overworking this U-joint and taking it out. I seriously doubt it within 500 or 600 miles, but possibly. So anyway, I discussed what was going on with this drive shaft with the guys down there at Jackson Powertrain, and they said that it could benefit with another yoke. I happen to have had another 54 Ford drive shaft here at the house. So I took it to work, I cut the yoke off, and it was and had to take the old U-joint out of it. It was in much better condition as far as the yoke in here. It was not worn out. So they took and they welded me a new used yoke on, and I went and got them another U-joint, yes, another precision from O'Reilly's, because that's all that was available without having to get in there and order one. I'm probably going to have to order one from I think it was Rock Auto. I found a true Dana U-joint. I don't know if it's made in the USA. I don't know where it's made, but it is from Dana. I am going to eventually get that U-joint and get it installed in the drive shaft. No, I'm not get it installed. I'm going to install it in this drive shaft. There's nothing to replacing these U-joints. They're a piece of cake. And put a quality U-joint, especially if it says it's made in the USA. I'm going to put that U-joint in. But to get us through cruising the coast and to see if we can fix this driveline vibration, we're going to go with it as it is for right now. So that said, let me crawl up under the car. We're going to get this drive shaft put in. All right, so we have the drive shaft stuck back in the car, and we're going to go and head out to do a quick shakedown run. We're going to go out to a quick car show. So we're going to see if this drive shaft has done us any good. I'm gonna do that. All right, so everybody rolling out here at the El Cazadores Car Show. So I guess we're gonna head home. We got some more cars to work on when we get to the house, and the vibration, well, she's still there. All right, so as I just said, on the ride to the car show, we realized that had not cured our vibration. So we are making one more move. I've had these for a while, and I've just been being lazy. Let's just be honest. I was being lazy, and need to replace these motor mounts. These are energy suspension motor mounts. They're made in the USA. They're polyurethane. Supposed to be impervious to all fluids on the vehicle. Nothing is supposed to be able to get to them. So we have been out here working to get these swapped out. I've already done the passenger side because I've never done these before, and I wanted to kind of go through the process where I wasn't encumbered with a camera and figure it out. So one of the things people ask me, and we'll cover this real quick, is how did you put a small block Chevrolet in this old Ford? Well, this is a plate that my father-in-law and his business partner, I think they engineered this, came up with this. You know, this was 25 years ago, or however long it's been. Been a hot minute, but the thing they did was they had these plates, and this is the original mount point here, and this is the point on the frame in which it would originally have mounted. And they made these plates to extend, I guess that's about 6 inches, the mount point forward. to give the distributor enough room and make everything line up where it needed to line up. We can go up top here real quick. I can show you. I think you'll be able to see, or maybe not. There you are. Yes, you can. Right there. That is the original mount point. Well, the original Ford motor had the distributor in the back, the 239Y block, but the mount point on that engine was actually at the front of the engine up here, and it came to a point right there, okay, and it mounted on either side of the crankshaft and mounted there, and there were some more back here. You can see the two holes right there. There were mounts there and a mount there, as well as a mount on the transmission in the back. Why they felt they needed to have 3 places to mount that original 239, I don't know. May have been due to the weight. 239's weigh, I don't even know, but I know that it bowed up on the chain fall when it was pulled out of this vehicle. But anyway, needless to say, the small block Chevrolet, you can see where I'm pointing right there, that is where they mount. So we had to make up the distance from there to there, about 6-8 inches or so. Haven't put a tape measure on it, I don't know, but that's what needed to happen. So that's what happened, and that's how those plates came to be. Now, as far as using these energy mounts, you have a couple different style of these clamshells. One style of these clamshells uses 3 bolts, one uses 4. I think probably the truck mounts will probably use 4. I don't know that for sure, but I'm guessing. But that doesn't matter. We've got the one with 4. These energy mount urethane bushings tell you in the instructions that there are 2 different ones. And that part number right there, 3.1116G, is, I know for sure, the one for the 4-bolt mount. If you're going to use the 3-bolt clamshells, they tell you in the instructions that there's a different part number. So you need to do your research before you try to use these energy suspension mounts on your Chevrolet mounts. Getting these apart, it's no big deal. You take these 4 bolts out, and it is actually kind of like, it's not riveted, it's peened over basically and crimped together on the back side. You take and put this in your vise, drill out both of these peened over riveted style spots very easily. I just used a step bit, and these clamshells will come apart. No big deal. We're nice and easy. You take your new mount and you lay it in your clamshell, line everything back up, and simply put your bolts back in place and put this bracket back up in the vehicle. I didn't want to try to get up in there and video where all of this is taking place, because there's just not enough room for activities. There's just barely enough room for me. So I'm going to get over here and get busy and get this mount swapped out, and then we'll get it reinstalled. And there you go, just like that. Everything's cut apart. Well, we got it all back together. Hopefully for the last time, oil changed, and get her out here and get her planed off, and we'll see what she's gonna do. All right, well, we just pulled back in a few minutes ago from our shakedown run, and well, had a little moment of terror. You saw me stop, and we were in the little town of Raymond, where I was headed to do my shakedown run, and I had stopped in the center of town, and they've got a water tower, and I took a few little artistic photogenic shots with the old girl. There's a cannon there and a water tower and all that in the historic town of Raymond. And when I bent down, I heard what I thought was a lifter tick. It's not a lifter tick. So let's get in here and I'll show you exactly what it is. All right, so last year we put these valve covers on and drove it to Cruising the Coast, and have not driven it very much since then. We've driven it some to a few car shows. I don't know that I've ever been under the hood with the engine running at idle. But you can see right there, there's a witness mark where a rocker arm is hitting that oil baffle inside this valve cover. So I've got to clean that up and see if I can remove that oil baffle and try to make it fit so that it doesn't hit. Alright, so that little baffle, and you can see I've cleaned it up a little bit. You can see that witness mark right there where that rocker arm was hitting, and it was quite loud. It's just a couple of self-tapping sheet metal screws hold that in there, and you can see the witness mark of where it was before and where it is now. I was able to give it a little squeeze, and what it's for is a baffle for the breather. That's all that's for. So apparently when they made it, that got a little spread out when they put it in there somehow, and end up causing me heartache and grief. About gave me a heart attack a month before Cruising the Coast, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to tear an engine down. Alright, so we never did update on the motor mounts if they helped the vibration or not. I think they have helped. I don't feel quite as much vibration as I did before, and that's all the chasing I'm going to do on the vibration for now. We're trying to get this car to Cruising the Coast, trying to shake it down, make sure everything's ready to go, because that is generally about a 400 or 500 mile round trip, road trip, for about 3 or 4 days worth of driving, maybe 600 even, depending on how much you drive along the coast when you're down there. Well, so I guess from here on out, the rest of what I'll be doing is going to be cosmetic, a lot of rubbing and buffing and polishing and getting her ready to go. So until I can get out my next video, why don't you go watch another one coming on the screen right now.